Well, thank you for joining us. Now we have to mainstream into the discussions for this morning. And we have in the studio a former trade minister acting in a position of being a deputy and member of parliament as well. And we have Kukuri Kathagan, is a regular on the channel. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
You had been in finance banking, you'd had extensive sojourn elsewhere in the world, so you've had vast experiences, served in government in Ghana as well. You put us in a better perspective, more so because you're still a 7th member of parliament. But you've been observing what has been going on the last couple of days regarding the fate of the finance minister. And I know the position of your side. How would you describe the reaction so far following that statement by the majority side after having met the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo?
Good morning, and thank you very much. Good morning to our viewers this morning. I think the finance minister's position, I mean, he's been a beleaguered finance minister for quite some time. And his position did become untenable long time ago. How he's managed to obviously stay in office, with somebody with the kind of pedigree that he brought to the job, with kind of exposure that he was supposed to have had, it's sort of quite difficult for me to imagine why he's actually still there. I mean, this guy doesn't need to be pushed. He himself should know that his time was up long time ago, and that he should, he's making the job difficult for, I think, whether his uncle or his cousin, who is the president, and he himself should have left the scene long time ago. I mean, his presence in the job is part of the problems that we are facing. And if you did realize that when the announcement was actually when the majority, by the way, this is something we've been talking about on the minority side, wanting to remove him for quite some time. I mean, we had this motion for censure, which was done a few days ago, and we're just waiting for its outcomes, work in progress. But the moment the majority actually were bold enough to, come up with what they came up with, there was a reaction in the market. Even the city, it's still very bad, but slow down on its fall. And the same will happen to other things, because the man who is supposed to handle the physical side of the economy is actually not working, or has failed, is up to his neck with a job. And until that side of the economy is addressed, or we begin to address it, we are not going to go anywhere, and he is the problem.
Okay, you've acted as a deputy minister of finance before,
Yeah.
Unless I'm wrong, based on your history.
Yes, you're right.
You also an economist, a finance person. You've been an investment banker for all the period.
Yeah.
Per your experiences at the finance ministry, all these activities were undertaken with the IMF, and the messages they keep churning out after each meeting, and the last one was in Washington.
Yeah.
What does it tell you in terms of the posture, the willingness, the reception of the IMF to give us a deal as quickly as possible, for which the president seemed to be counting on to keep the finance minister in office?
Well, first of all, the fact of the matter is that we are not in a position to get a deal.
What do you mean?
Well, what I do mean is, if you look per the IMF's own rule on engaging a country on the extended credit facility.
How do they do that?
Is that as a country, you have to be debt sustainable. And our debt is simply not sustainable. When they came, they also quite a diplomatic organization, because they work with countries and they want countries to do well. I mean, the IMF, many times we talk about IMF not doing anything for anyone. IMF can't solve our problem. Most of the time, it's we who can solve our problem. IMF will come and help you, put you, like a fitness instructor, get you, in shape. And then the moment you leave, you go back to your old ways, and then you bloat up again. So they cannot give us a program because our debt is not sustainable. When they came in first, they talk about, we can't say that Ghana's debt is not sustainable. We need to do the debt sustainability analysis to be able to reach that. They came the second time. They've done the debt sustainability. It is clear Ghana's debt is not sustainable, and we don't have any plan of basically restructuring the debt and moving in a path of reducing the debt. So that's number one, key thing. If you can't be, unless IMF at this juncture decide to change their rules for whatever reason to favor us so we can go into a program. Number two, if our debt is not sustainable, then we need to make it sustainable for us to be able to get onto the program. How do you sustain your debt? You need to do some restructuring. We have two components of our debt, which is the domestic and the external. Now, if you start from President Kufuor's time, since we started going to the HIPIC mills and all that, there had never been a time where our debt, a good portion of our debt, more than 70% of our external debt, is actually in the market. It's never happened. In Kufuor's time, Kufuor even went to the HIPIC before he did his first Eurobond,
which was the 750.
When Mills came in and went to IMF, there was no Eurobond, so our exposure in the market was not that big.
Was reduced.
When President Mahama came, we were just under 3 billion in terms of... now, with this, our Eurobond alone is about 18 billion. So,
and this is in USD. We have to categorize that.
Yeah, it's in US dollars. So how do you restructure such debt? You know, if the old way or the old debt where you go to the Paris Club and all that and get things restructured, Paris Club, that is people who lend money to us and all that. With the market, is completely different. And it has an implication with these rating agencies. When you indicate a restructuring in the market, your debts are going to be further downgraded and you become a junk status. So even you are not even worth negotiating, anybody sitting down and negotiating with.
So you are saying that to us, within the international finance market, where we go for the bonds, etc., we're smelling, we're like a bag of weed. Nobody wants to touch us.
Absolutely not. Nobody wants to touch you. Absolutely not. And they want to see how they are going to get their money. Right now, it's not about, they want to see how they are going to get it because they can smell that they are likely not to get their money. So they want to look at a way of, when you come to the domestic, where you believe that you may be able to do some restructuring, there's another problem there.
Which is what?
A good percentage of our domestic debt is also held by foreigners, non-resident.
So you're saying that a good percentage of our domestic debt is held by discount houses and investment houses.
Absolutely.
And big trust companies outside.
Absolutely.
And many of them started withdrawing their money?
Yes. That is also the problem because once you indicate a restructuring, then that triggers basically an outflow of money because people are not going to sit down for their money to
because they brought in the money in US dollars.
In US dollars, and then they have to change it to cedis to be able to purchase. But then when they liquidate, they have to mop up the dollars out of your system. So that itself is part of the exchange rate problems that we are facing. So the more you indicate that you want to restructure, the worse your currency will get because liquidation then begins.
Mr. Kweku Riketegan, you are not painting a good picture at all.
I tell you what, our situation...
Is it because you're in opposition?
Absolutely not. Quite a while ago, we have seen this problem long ago coming. This government was in denial, and we kept hammering on the problem. Where we are now, this is no longer a problem. This is an emergency.
Well, emergency would mean that we need to go for some emergency surgery. But we also have had experienced statesmen, people, economists who have worked with either the UN, the IMF, the World Bank, or the rest of the Bretton Woods institutions and recognize international finance institutions. And one of them is Kwame Pieni. He's been speaking to Pa Kwesi Asare of 3Business and raising some fundamental questions that apparently also he's always raised before. Let's take that instead. When we come back, we're going to have a Deputy Trade Minister, Member of Parliament for New Drabin South, Michael Befi. He's in the studio. And then we'll ask him, what does he make of the statement being made by the astute economist?
We don't have the foreign exchange reserves to support it. The IMF negotiation is not going well.
You know this for a fact?
I know this for a fact. It's not going. What the IMF is waiting for is a bold, credible pronouncement from the president, as he did over the COVID. The president said, I take full responsibility, I'm in charge, and I'm going to make sure that Ghanaians are protected from the COVID. We need a president to own the crisis, to come out and say, there is nothing that I will not do to stabilize the economy of Ghana, to stop this pressure, the economic crisis that is looming, and that there are no sacred cows. All the flagship programs will be looked at and reviewed for efficiency. School, the free school one, the feeding, we are going to look at all that. And I myself, I'm going to set the example. It's expenditures that need to be cut. No spooking traders by planting GRA officers in their shops. If somebody were to say they are going to plant someone in your living room, would you like that?
Is that a wrong policy?
Is
that a wrong policy?
It's wrong. Look, people are suffering. When people are suffering, that's not when you irritate them by starting things new. It's not going well, the negotiations. If the president, I know that, I mean, that's my business, to keep my ears open. I'm a Ghanaian, I'm interested in the economy, moving in the right direction. We are friends in Washington. So what I'm saying is that it's not going well, but they are looking for the president to come up as he came out on COVID.
It's an emergency, Mr. Befi. Let me baptize you. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Yeah, and it doesn't look good. He has his ears on the ground. He may not be in government, very astute. You know him as well. Yeah. The negotiations aren't going well. The IMF came here. We've been there. They are issuing statements, and you read in between the lines. They're all statements of diplomacy. They're telling us that, look, we need to do certain things within the corridors of government. Realistically, you find yourself in government. You find yourself also as a member of parliament. Of course, it's still within the structure of the organs of government. What do you think is the communication? I mean, the finance minister is almost like a persona now. He's the one polluting the good sack. And our president has refused to take a decision on him that will serve as a message to the international community.
I guess, I mean, that's your own opinion. Nobody would...
It's not my opinion.
That's your opinion. I mean, it's your opinion.
It's an opinion for which you even have an opinion.
No, it's your opinion because that is coming from you. It's not coming from me.
I see.
So then you cannot, by this, extend it to mean that everybody may think the same way as you're thinking. For me, I believe that the crux of the matter is very simple.
Which is what?
That we find ourselves in a situation now, whether it came as a result of somebody's doing or not, we are in a situation. Now, what I expect every Ghanaian, including those in opposition, to do now is for all of us to come together as one people to fight the situation together, get our country out of the situation, and now get back on track and do what we used to do.
So what should we do?
That's the point I'm coming to. Please. I believe that this is not the time to apportion blames. This is not the time to do, kung fu and demonic analysis, like what my brother.
What do you mean by kung fu and demonic analysis,
demonic
Mr.
analysis?
Michael Ochebe?
That will throw certain things into the system. That may create certain impression that may not be true. Because the point is that, note, whether we like it or not, we had issues as a country, and we had to go through or meander through to come out of these issues. I'm talking about COVID. Whether you believe it or not, it happened. And also note, let us also not restrict our conversation to only Ghana. This situation is a global phenomenon, and it's happening everywhere. Countries are suffering. Major and big economies with big GDPs are going through hell, and they are rationing power. Things are happening in bigger jurisdictions, and it is not only in Ghana. We may not be seeing what others are seeing, but note that we have accepted the fact that there's a problem, and therefore we need to work together as one people, whether you are in government or opposition. Let's believe that a crisis occurred. This is not the first time Ghana has gone through a crisis. We went through a crisis. Governments then decided to work hard to come out of the crisis and get to a winning
Mr.
ways.
Murphy.
So my point,
Please make that point.
very simple. There's a situation. How best can we all come together to fight the situation to get back on track?
I
Very
love you.
simple.
I love you because you're a good communicator. You know how to do the packaging very well. But the reality is that if you are in a certain situation, I'm taking myself just like in my four corners of my home, if I don't do introspection, if I don't reflect, and basically, you're an astute insurance person, marketing consultant. You've been in this industry for 10 years. You're still related to the finance industry. You do your SWOT. Yes, and that will take you back into retrospect.
I mean, definitely.
So why is it that when we have to talk about the problem before we find solutions?
I'm not.
For those of you in government, and then also communicating for government, you seem to think that is bad blood.
No, there's nothing. No, okay, nobody has said that.
So what do you mean? What do you mean? Please put the masses into perspective.
The point is
me.
that it is certain things are not needed at this time.
What do you mean by
The
that?
kind of analysis my senior brother was making clearly shows that it is mischief inclined and it's propaganda. Inclined. You could see that.
You are saying that what he's saying is propagandist.
No, you see what he's trying to make. What the point he's trying to make is that he's trying to paint the system black. You are not even happy. Assuming you didn't understand the times and you didn't understand the situation, you would have even easily, I don't know, I stand to be corrected, fallen to his kind of analysis. I'm not by this saying that those analyses are wrong. I'm not saying that. But the situation we find ourselves now, doesn't demand us or warrant these kind of analysis. We believe that there's a problem. When you refuse to accept that there's a problem, it will be very difficult. In marketing or in business, we always say that when you believe and you accept the fact that there's a situation, that easily is about 60% of the solution to the problem. And that's exactly what we have made.
So why is that when we're reflecting that you think that is wrong?
That is wrong. It is wrong. That's the point I'm making to you. It's wrong because it is not needed. Now, let's talk about...
Are you serious?
Yes. Do you know why I'm saying that?
No, please tell me.
Let's talk about solutions.
Okay.
If you have alternative, bring it on board. Let's see. You see, a political party came when they were in power. In 2015, in opposition, we were bringing out alternative ideas.
Okay, Mr. Murphy. Mr. Murphy.
Not now.
Mr. Murphy.
But you are not talking about
just a month or 2 or 3 ago, the former president advised, go to the IMF. That's solution one in my observation. Okay? If you go a few months back, he, alongside Kesel Forsen and the rest of the team, they said, let's look at how we can restructure our debts. A couple of years ago, they said, you are spending too much on the social side if you look at our budgets each time it's presented. And so take a look at that. And they always said we should reduce the size of government as well as other expenditures within the structure, whether
okay, let me
land. So if we take some of those, I take them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 solutions. Even though we haven't even gone into detail.
You call these solutions?
Then what are they?
These are things that you see naturally. These are things that you are a small let me say a small economy that has not gotten to the size of America, for example. We may know what to do as citizens or government, managers of the economy. You know that you're supposed to do A, B, C. These are things that...
You mean these are basic things?
Generic stuff that everybody... We are talking about critical issues that they should be able to now come out with ideas.
What are the critical issues you are expecting from us?
I expect them to tell us that, okay, now do this. One, let's focus on this. Not going to the IMF. We knew about that already as a government. We knew that, and in any case, going to IMF, is it wrong? Whether we said something bad about it or not, is it wrong? Because we are members of the IMF.
Okay, so going to IMF is not wrong.
There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that we didn't say we didn't want to go.
Okay.
But the point I'm making in this case is that was our position then.
Okay.
But through circumstances or situations that we found ourselves in, we decided to subscribe to that. But see, you should not tell me this. Clearly, these are not policies that can help a country. Are these policies that
expenditure cuts are not policies?
No.
No, I'm asking you this question because you're a finance and marketing person. Are you saying that no? Yes.
Situate what I'm saying in context, please.
Mr. Michael Ochebefi.
I'm not by
can
this.
Can you please listen?
I'm saying that these are generic stuff that everybody knows.
Yes.
You and I know.
Yes.
Tell me, when we're coming, we told them that, okay, let's accelerate growth.
Okay.
Let's increase our export. How do you do that? We'll build more factories.
Right.
So let us come out with a policy called 1D, 1
right.
Very good policy. These are things
Mr. Michael
that everybody knows.
Okay. I've worked in corporate a bit.
Yes, everybody has worked in corporate.
And so when you're looking at expenditure at the group level,
it is good.
Yes.
Cutting
Great. Then you look at the low-hanging fruits.
That's very
so
important.
what do you reach first? You reduce your expenditure, and then you look at where you can create the space, bring in more money, and then you expand.
Exactly.
That is also basic.
I don't have a problem.
But those are the things you do first.
No,
the government,
but
in which you're also part of, has refused to do that.
Come on, don't say that, please, my brother. Don't say that. Are you saying the government has not made any effort? Government has made a lot of effort.
What are the efforts?
I am part of government, I'm telling you.
Okay, please tell me one of them.
Government told us.
That has not been communicated to us.
It was communicated to the public.
Which is what?
You know about that we did a expenditure cut by reducing salaries and allowances
30%.
of government.
30%.
For me, as I sit here, God is my witness. If I tell you what happens, I don't drive the ministry's vehicle. I drive my own vehicle. Now I even decided that within some period, I was going to go, slow down a little. I may not be able to give you details. But these are things that government intentionally did. To be able to, and we know that it's a process. We have to start from a place. We've started from one point. Definitely we'll get to where you expect us to get to. That is, ultimately the most important thing for government now. Because we have to reduce, we know that we have to cut our quota corner. We know. These are things that we know that we have started doing. But I'm talking about trying to, you see, in the short term, it's good. But also propose ideas that can help us in the middle to long term.
The big ideas.
These are also very important as alternative. If you want to form a government and you don't have such ideas to share, it means that you are not ready for power.
Yeah.
And I don't stand to be quieted in this issue.
Mr. Ochebefi says you are just dealing with the small nuances. They need big stuff, man. Yeah, you're going to the IMF and you're just here talking about the finance minister, just
doing analysis.
Belittling the issues. Let me help.
Doing demonic analysis.
Propagandist communication.
That would throw demonic stuff and create a lot of poison in the system. That's what they are doing. That's what they know how to do best.
Naysayers.
They are what is on brandy.
Naysayers.
My brother really. I was sad before coming in, but I even feel much. I'm very, very sad, and the unfortunate situation that is going on. The solutions that he's talking about. If you even offered it to them, they wouldn't see it. It's clearly.
Which are the solutions? He says that none has been offered.
That's what I'm saying. That all the things you have said, the former president has said, we have said, other people have said. Look. They're always talking about come up with solutions. But the thing is that even when you give them solutions, they can't see it. First of all, they either refusing to understand the economy they are managing or they don't actually understand it. If they do, the solutions that they are coming up with at the moment themselves is not enough. They have not actually grasped the problem that is confronting this country. And he's doing exactly the same thing that they've done over and over. Which has brought us here.
Which is what?
They are not listening. They are talking to themselves and hearing themselves and no other person. You give them solutions and they say, look, they are thinking too hard even about the problems. So much so that the simple solutions that are out there, they can't even see it. They can't even see that there are simple things that they need to do to be able to get us, like you talk about low-hanging fruits. You pick those before you actually climb the tree. They are climbing the trees, going past the fruits, the hanging ones, thinking that they are going to get to the peak and pick the ones up there.
This is the problem with this government. They simply don't understand the situation that we are in at the moment. They don't have any solutions, and if you offer them one, they can't see it. The same thing they did, as I said to you earlier, we had a problem, and the problem snowballs. You give them solutions, you advise them, they don't listen, and it's getting bigger. When you say something is snowballing, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. At the moment, if you really see what is happening, you understand it, you are feeling it, this situation is no longer a problem, it's an emergency. And my brother, please, listen to us. Listen to Ghanaians.
Well, he says you're not communicating anything.
Well, because he's not listening.
You're just rabble-rousing.
You cannot communicate with them. They are simply not listening. The reason I said I'm so sad, you were telling him things, and he says everybody knows that. The things that everybody knows, you are not even doing them. If everybody knows them, why are you not doing them? Why do people keep talking about it and you are not doing it? You have a finance minister who simply will not listen to anyone. He has failed abysmally as a public finance manager. He may have done well in his private life with other people's, money, shareholders and whatever. He has failed to manage the taxpayers' money. And his position is beleaguered. This is one of the solutions. The critical solution at the moment is for the finance minister to give way for a fresh start.
That's a solution.
Honorable, you've been asking for solution. This is a solution at the moment.
I just want to.
Let me finish. Let me. At the moment, this finance minister, the man who did not believe in the IMF, we are a member of the IMF. This statement you are making is a statement we have made long time ago, even when we were in government. Why we went to the IMF, that we are members of. We have gone past that conversation. We have gone past a problem. We have an emergency. And let's just stop all these politics and all that. Look, Ghana is going down the drain. You are talking about sacrifices that you are making personally. Mr. Minister, some people don't have the option to even make sacrifices. You have the option. So you can make sacrifices. Whether you want to take your salary or drive your four-wheel drive or not, it's an option. Many Ghanaians, millions of Ghanaians don't have that option.
I don't think.
So let's please.
I don't think.
Let's please listen to Ghanaians.
No, he can learn.
Let's please listen to Ghanaians
because
and stop this posture.
You see
it's sending this country down the drain.
Mr.
Minister,
the point is that nobody has said that we're not listening to Ghanaians or the citizens. How do we manage people when you don't listen to them? How do you relate well and be able to manage them well? It's not possible. I mean, in business, normal or in corporate. How do you, as a manager, how do you manage without listening to your internal customers? It's not possible. I mean, we listen to them. That's how come we went to the IMF. We listened to them. That's how come the solutions that we started talking about. I mean, cutting costs and trying to make some sacrifices. We did them. But see, it seems to me that the mindset, the spirit behind the talk, it's not clear. That doesn't seem good. It's the spirit.
It's not honest.
It's not honest. It's made up of demonic. Let me. I'm tempted.
Today you're going spiritual.
No. I want to use words, but I don't want to offend people.
The sensibility.
So I'm just trying to use words because I nearly use a word that I don't know, because I mean he's my senior brother and he may take offense to that. I see, the point is that let us face the fact. Is the government doing something about this situation or not? The point, the government is doing a lot. Government is, as I talk to you now, government is engaging different sectors of the economy. I mean stakeholders, talking to them, asking them also to come out with ideas that will see.
Shouldn't we have done this before?
So that's what I'm talking
because
about.
We're now meeting the IMF and then we're doing engagement.
Now you are talking about the situation where we are not listening. How come a government is not listening and a government is engaging? Does it add up? We are engaging. We still have the mandate of the people to rule and govern. So Therefore, we need to do things that will make them happy, that will please them, that will make the system good for everybody to do business. I mean, and also make profit in business. So when we are trying, you say we are not trying. In any case, when they were in power, did they do those things?
They will go again.
I'm not saying that, please. I am just saying that I completely, when we say people have the men to govern or have ideas to govern, I mean, it is even out of place for you to compare NDC with an MPP. I don't stand to be corrected. There are things that I say. How do you say that? It is completely out of place. You cannot situate it at any given talk or conversation. I mean, what were you able to do? What did you do? As a matter of fact, I am telling you in confidence that if you people were being power by this time, people would have been selling human beings on the streets of Ghana. I am telling you. It's a fact, a statement of facts that I'm making to you. That completely the economy would have broken down to pieces. But we are trying. We are not by this.
You are saying the state of the economy is better than...
If anybody...
it would have been worse under the NDC.
Yes. If anybody in its right senses say anywhere that this economy or things are going well, that the person is deceiving himself or tickling himself. Who will not say that? I will not say that. As somebody who understands finance, who understands, these things. I would never talk like that. But the point is that let us look at the solution, permanent solutions to solve, and that's what we are doing. Right. For coming here, I decided I plan, as well as I purpose in my heart
to be positive,
not to even engage myself in analysis. So I was tempted to open something, but I said no. Let me be focused because there's a problem. What can we do? You have proposed some. Let's do more. Let us all engage. Let's come together and see ourselves as solving a problem together. That's the most important thing. If you're able to solve the problem together and win together, Ghana has won, not NDC or NPP. Yeah. But for you to say that Kenneth Furiata has failed, he's the cause. Oh, well, come on. Please. This is clearly.
Mr. Murphy, cool down. Cool down. I see that you've been riled up by the
complete hatred. People are just, when jealousy, they just talk like that.
Who is jealous about?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just
jealous about Kenneth Furiata.
No.
When people, they just see, they just stand up and make utterances that are not too good. I'm not by this saying that he's a perfect person. I'm not by this saying that, but let us situate the situation. If you want him to go, say it. Just make a point.
Who wants him to go? Even your members on the side of Parliament want him to go. So it's not as if somebody else.
No. How many members want him to go?
I spoke to the majority leader yesterday. He says
that's the fact.
He says beyond the 80, we've now gone to almost everybody being whipped into line. The entire majority. That's what he said. I can play you the insert.
No, just.
But before we came on air, I also saw this insert. So I just want to apprise you of that insert. You were in this video.
Go to IMF for bailout or whatever. We're going to IMF for bailout. Do you know the meaning? The meaning is that people don't know. Immediately you say you want to go to IMF, it means that you are going to tell the IMF that IMF, please, me Ghana, I can't manage my economy, so come and help me manage it. That's the meaning. Immediately you say you are going for a bailout. Immediately you take that decision. Then you mean that you're going to tell them, and you know what the people they will bring? They won't bring their expert too. The deputy finance minister was telling me that I said all the IMF meetings they have had, high level meetings, small boys, who come and take the decisions. That's small boys.
Incredible U-turn.
Mr. Murphy,
yeah.
If you make such communication,
before
you take a plane here in Ghana, go to Washington.
I think we have gone past the situation.
Yes. We have gone certainly. But I'm saying that you poisoned the atmosphere before going to meet the IMF. That's my question. Didn't you?
We've gone past this. You know why I'm saying we've gone past this?
No, please tell me.
Because that was the decision of government then. That was the decision of government.
The decision of government was what?
Then.
That
we'll be able to find solutions to the problem, not to go to IMF. Then.
And they told you to communicate this way.
I just say that was the decision of government then. Government decision at that time. I'm part of government, and therefore we are together in whatever we do. So government decision then was that we're not going to IMF.
How do you juxtapose that decision and now?
No, it's not wrong. I have had a lot of conversation not here. After this, people have done the same thing you are doing. Clearly mischief. TV3 and NDC people. That's what they do. They do mischief. And see, clearly that's what they are doing.
Mr. Murphy, you are annoyed. Because these are public statements you've made.
I am not saying anywhere that I didn't make this statement. I have talked.
No, you can't say you are in the video,
No,
so
no,
you can't
but
say that.
and I told you that was the decision then of
Government.
And I'm part of
How
government.
do you just oppose that decision of government then and now, and the way you're communicating?
There's nothing wrong with that. Government decided then not to
How
go.
can you say there's nothing wrong with that, Mr.
I mean,
Jeffy?
government decided not to go to IMF. It was
And then now government
No,
decided
excuse me.
that we should go to
It
IMF.
was a decision of government. So then we had to now stand by government in that direction. Government going through the situation realized that now we have to go. In any case, going to IMF is it wrong?
According to the video, you said it's wrong.
No, but please, I said that we will not go to IMF. That's not where we want to go. We could have done this. But the point I'm making, see, these things, I've reacted to it several. I've said a lot of things. People have done this to me, I mean, in studios. But then I told them that was the decision of government then. Now, government decision is to go to IMF. And that's what we are pursuing. Very simple. I am not by this saying that, I mean, what I said is right.
Mr. Pieni, Mr. Kwame Pieni.
Okay.
You know him, right?
Very well.
Okay. He does says that the first pointer is for the president to send some leadership statement to the team that were negotiating with the IMF.
Yes,
and that is to sack the finance minister. He can't be wrong,
No,
can
did he say that?
Oh, I'll play the video.
No, did he say that is to sack the finance minister?
Yes, yes, that's what he said.
Did he say that? I just want to know. Did he say that?
Yes,
or
yes,
TV3
because
host is saying that. I want to know.
He said that.
Please play it and let's see.
Yes,
Listen.
please.
He said that you should sack the finance minister. Then I'll continue the conversation.
Yes.
We're waiting.
To support it. The IMF negotiation is not going well.
You know this for a fact.
I know this for a fact. It's not going. What the IMF is waiting for is a bold, credible pronouncement from the president, as he did over the COVID. The president said, I take full responsibility, I'm in charge, and I'm going to make sure that Ghanaians are protected from the COVID. We need a president to own the crisis, to come out and say, there is nothing that I will not do to stabilize the economy of Ghana, to stop this pressure, the economic crisis that is looming, and that there are no sacred cows. All the flagship programs will be looked at and reviewed for efficiency. School, the free school one, the feeding, we are going to look at all that. And I myself, I'm going to set the example. It's expenditures that need to be cut. No spooking traders by planting GRA officers in their shops. If somebody were to say they are going to plant somebody in your living room, would you like that?
Is that a wrong policy? Is that a wrong policy?
It's wrong. Look, people are suffering. When people are suffering, that's not when you irritate them by starting things new. It's not going well, the negotiations. If the president, I know that, I mean, that's my business, to keep my ears open. I'm a Ghanaian, I'm interested in the economy, moving in the right direction. We are friends in Washington. So what I'm saying is that it's not going well, but they are looking for the president to come up as he came out on COVID. A credible message. I'm going to make sure we cut expenditures to stabilize the economy.
Have you had the opportunity to tell him this?
Yes, I mean, I send messages, I talk to him. You see, and then you need a credible messenger. Ken Oforiatta is not a credible messenger. Somebody who didn't want to take in this route. How can we say he should lead it? First, I say that the hardships on Ghanaians is unprecedented.
Right.
So it should save Ghanaians additional misery by stepping down. The second part is that NPP has a reasonably good reputation as a good manager of the Ghanaian economy. And it's time that it stops so that the irreparable damage is not done to the reputation of NPP as good managers of the economy. That's the second one. And the third one is, if he doesn't go, and the president doesn't let him go, we risk, irreversibly dragging the president's legacy and his presidency into the gutters.
He says that if Ken doesn't go, sack him.
Because the point is that when you were playing the first one, you didn't play up to this point, or you played.
No, we didn't play up to this.
Up to this point, so maybe I didn't.
You were watching, so because you didn't hear this.
I didn't.
But now you acknowledge that he says that.
Yeah, what I heard, I didn't hear him say that.
Okay.
That's why.
Can I ask a question?
Okay. Right.
Me, from what I observed from the posture of those in government when we are not on air, and then our friends on the side of the majority, I mean, Ken Ofori-Atta, the final, is bad blood. He's like a bag of weed. Nobody wants to hold a bag of weed and be seen. They smoke it in secret.
Who told you? Go to US and see whether they are not smoking it.
Yeah, because they've legalized it.
That's so the point.
Yes.
So they don't make
So he's like a bag of weed here, and everybody wants to hide a bag of weed on the streets of ministries, departments, as well as circle.
He is the Minister of Finance.
We understand that.
As we talk now.
Yes.
The president.
And you are a deputy minister of trade.
The president is there. I'm even a member of the governing board of the Ministry of Finance.
You are?
Yes. So I'm just.
And I'm sure when you sit at the meeting, you know that he's not the man to lead.
Who told you I said that? I'm
not saying you are saying that. I'm saying within you.
I'm just telling you that the one who appoints and fires is the president. At this point, the president has given him a clear mandate to lead the economic team of Ghana. Very simple. The president can also decide that he doesn't want him again, and he will write to and communicate it to the public. But for now, he's the finance minister. And as far as we sit, the president is the one who controls the government.
Mr. Befi.
We are not talking about that's what you think.
No, I'm not saying what you are telling me is that the government headed by the president.
So that you are aiding you are aiding the NDC. I want to say worse.
This is the worst statement ever from you.
Aiding the NDC to just say that.
Okay.
That's what you are doing.
All right, no problem. Okay, I'm aiding the NDC. I'm saying that I'm making
giving them the strength to even talk more.
I'm making deduction from your statement. And these are two deductions I make.
Yes.
One, you're saying that the government and the president, who is the appointing authority, is still having Ken Ofori-Atta, the finance minister, in office. So he's the finance minister.
That's right.
Whatever I hold as my personal position.
Nobody has said that.
I'm saying I'm making deduction from your statement.
So don't make deductions for me.
Okay.
That's the point. Why do you have to make deductions for me?
I've always admired you for
I also admire you so well.
When I listen to
but when you aid NDC people to get,
So now what I'm doing, I'm aiding the NDC
What
people.
you have said now, you see what will happen immediately.
Is it because of what I'm making deduction?
No, I'm going to keep quiet and listen.
All right.
Let's keep quiet.
All right.
What you have said now is going to give somebody the strength to say it. You listen. Yes.
Listen, my brother. When I listened to you, I don't know when you made that statement.
It was just a private conversation.
You need to debate with yourself. You now and you then.
No, we have gone past that situation.
And then secondly,
because I have spoken about it.
No, I think he's cancelled out.
Yeah.
And then let me help you. The 80 plus MPs from your side also have aided the NDC, right? 2 days ago, they just gave a vacuum for the NDC.
You are the one who is aiding NDC
Before we come to that 80, you also said the government position then was not going to the IMF. So your posture now is, I believe, is also the government position that now you are in the IMF and you're ready for it. You did also say about some small boys coming from the IMF.
Who said that?
Have they arrived? Who are you negotiating with?
Well,
Is this the same small boys?
No, because the point is that we've gone past that conversation. And I said this.
I think he's saying that at the time, that was the policy direction of government. So he was only communicating the policy
we were just following.
Okay, the two of you hold the fort. Yeah. We have to go for a break. When we come back, we have to continue from here. Look, we're not going nowhere. Right here on TV3Newday. So I continue with the two distinguished men. One a former deputy trades minister and one serving currently a deputy trade minister. So he works in good measure. But if we look at what Mr. Befi is saying, we have to at least empathize with government, don't we?
Well,
empathy is needed.
Empathy
for
is
us to forge forward.
For all of us. as Ghanaians. Because what is going on at the moment doesn't affect my brother alone. It affects all of us. But my point, he did say something about we being demonic and all that. Then he went ahead to say that if NDC were to be in power today, we'll be selling...
So things will be worse.
Yeah, we'll be selling human beings and all that, which is more... That is a more demonic perspective, than saying that what we are saying to help the country is demonic. Where we have gotten to, and I don't want to go back on this issue, banter and
what
all
should
that,
we be doing?
Because what we should be doing first and foremost is to ask the finance minister to step down. The thing is over him now. He is beleaguered. He's not the right person to lead an IMF negotiation. He doesn't believe in the IMF. The IMF don't believe him. Ask Mr. P.N.M., who has friends in Washington. We need a fresh face and a fresh start. We need to listen, and I mean the government needs to listen. We need to put the best brains that we have around together to find a solution. We don't need to think too hard about solutions because the solutions are just around us. You did say, and I go back to your word, not mine, low-hanging fruits. They see those as generic. He says these are general things everybody knows. If everybody knows, why are you not doing it? We need to do the small things. The problem in economics is a short-term, medium-term, and long-term. If you don't solve the short-term problems, you will never live to do the long-term. They should begin to listen. I know you have to defend your government, but things are not going well. And it keeps going from bad to worse. And if we don't address where we are now, we thought the problem was bad then. We talk, nobody listen, and they keep asking us to bring solutions. When you give them the solutions, they still can't see it. It's like it's raining, they need an umbrella. You bring them one, and they don't even realize they have an umbrella.
Mr. Murphy, I had this from Dr. Hassan Ayariga, you know him, right? And he says that he will make the following suggestions to government. Ban individual, private, and corporate foreign currency accounts. I know that some of them are extremely, can be done in the immediate measure. Close down and ban all forex bureau and individual forex dealers. Get them regulated. Ban trading on black markets. Ban the award of contract in foreign currencies. Quote and award all contracts in cedis. Ban all Ghanaians from quoting and selling land and properties in foreign. So Nigerians have invaded and get access to the dollar, and we must stop it immediately. Reduce or cut down tax exemption for companies, etc. And he goes on and on with that. On the corridors of government, what are the immediate measures we're thinking about? Not that the ones we've already announced.
Yes,
but
I think government, I told you about the engagement that's going on.
Yes,
I mean,
there's been AGI, there's been a number. Yeah.
All sectors of the economy, even market queens, we met them. Government has accepted the fact that there's a problem. That's the first point I want you to know. And the president has also accepted that there's a problem. Let us all come together and fix the issues. I mean, in this direction, I'm sure we're having a cabinet retreat this weekend, starting from today. And after the retreat, the president will come out, to announce to the world, or to Ghanaians, measures that government is taking within the shortest possible time, to bring these problems to a halt, especially the depreciation of the cedi, which is very important to government. And the exchange rate is depreciated. It has not been too well. We believe that this has happened. We believe that there's a problem. We believe that it is not a problem that we have to pamper the situation. We have to face it head on. We have to face it head on and make sure that we get a permanent solutions to us. So to me, that's what I can say in this direction, that the president himself will come out and then announce to the country and tell us what government has done within the shortest possible time to solve this problem.
There's something that's ongoing. There's the belief, and I also have had the belief because going to the market. Yes, there are related goods that directly are affected by the forex, but others also have had old stock, and even if they should sell the old stock and want to go and buy, just because of the intention of making profits, we seem to have spiral out of control pricing. can we have some price control measures?
That's exactly one of the things that we discussed. When we met the macro acquaintances. See, the situation is becoming very serious, and it's a problem now.
And everybody wants to take advantage.
Now, I now consider it very, very, very critical.
Okay.
As a country, there's a need for us to regulate certain key commodities.
When are we going to do that?
And that's why I'm telling you that Mr. President will come out with some immediate, solutions to this problem. Latest by Sunday, he will announce to the country the measures the government has taken. And as I was just telling you, if we sell a gallon of oil at 455, and within a matter of 4 days, people decide to shoot it up to almost 1,000 cities, that is not right. That's not fair. Completely out of place. Taking advantage of a situation. And it has already happened. Government appreciate and empathize with the traders and with the buying public, those who go to the market to buy. We understand the situation. We are doing everything possible to reverse the situation. And that's why I told you a while ago that in the shortest possible time, Mr. President, who is the head of government, will announce to the public measures that government has taken to, one, arrest the city, halt these unnecessary hikes in prices and stuff like that. And I think that will bring some sanity into the system with the shortest possible time. Us will still find ways and means to solve the problem once and for all in the long term.
Okay. On your side of the house, what's the thinking? You're still going ahead with the motion, vote of censure?
Well,
and with the now majority rescinding that decision, they've agreed with the president. They want to give some moratorium, 3 months for the president, based on the president's request. Let the man stay in office. Finish negotiations with the
I'm really disappointed with my colleagues who started this and couldn't actually see through. If the issue is on principle, then you've got to stand up and be counted. If it's on you being disgruntled or you being aggrieved, then you can easily be persuaded. And that is basically what has happened. And if they are not careful, there are people who will not forgive them for that. The finance minister's position is untenable. Where we are now, we need the finance ministers to step aside. He did say something which was quite interesting. Whether what is happening is self-inflicted or it came from Ukraine and other places, I think we've gone beyond that too. But the problem now is where we are. Where do we go from here? How do we rally behind somebody to go forward? And it's not this finance minister.
You say we should change the coach.
The coach must go. The finance minister, look, it's happening, he said, and rightly so, it's happening everywhere. Let's say it's a global thing. People are losing their jobs. Finance ministers are going, prime ministers are going, governors of banks are going. Why is this one, who is presiding over the worst currency in the world, still has a job to do? When these 80 people or so said that, on their side, said that they wanted him to go, look, the city has since been slightly stabilized. It tells you that if he goes, the market will respond. The IMF itself will respond to tell us that you want to keep him for 3 months. You are not in control of the negotiations of the IMF. There is no guarantee that the IMF negotiations will end in December. In fact, I don't think they will get a deal. I've said this over and over.
But he said you should be optimistic.
Well,
you are being a naysayer.
How can you be optimistic when you know that IMF will not work with anybody in terms of the ECF when their debt is not sustainable? And our debt is simply not sustainable. We are talking about restructuring our debt. So debt not being sustainable, you can't get a deal with the IMF unless IMF changes its rules to do something different. Second point, you cannot restructure your external debt because the bulk of it is with the capital market. Third, your domestic is going to affect your pensions and all that. And then again, non-resident, also foreign investors, invest in your local economy. So basically, a deal becomes extremely difficult unless something else happens. So you cannot give us a 3 month deadline unless the man finishes the good. At the end of the day, he is not, if you intend of changing him,
he's not even going to see to the implementation of what he is agreeing to today.
Okay.
That itself is dangerous.
All right. Well, thank you very much, the
I
two of you.
wanted to make a point.
All right.
About
Supposed to be a point. So 30 seconds. Yeah.
No, the principle that I mean, if those people
He
have
espoused.
if those people have principles, yeah, but they also, you have to also know, as a senior politician, that I mean, those people have principles, but they're also part of a caucus. And in Parliament, we work in caucus. We don't work, I mean, with our own, I mean, whatever we think about or what we believe in. Whilst you have your own beliefs and you have your own principles, you also know you are part of a caucus. So the caucus can take a decision and to bind it on all of you. You have to follow.
Maybe they should have spoken to their caucus first before coming out.
You all know Chief Baini. Chief Baini, right?
Yeah, yes.
You all know him. He had wanted to, he had applied for a permit under the Public Order Act with the police service to picket at the office of the Vice President. And
I heard it was granted.
no, there's been an injunction placed on it by the police service, and that's
No, but that's not right.
Okay.
Whether it's right or not, I heard he was granted.
No, that's not right.
Let me just talk.
For him to even think like that,
Right.
it's not right.
Oh.
Akunta, you should not do that.
Do you know Occupy Flagstaff House, where the current finance minister?
The point that it's not right.
You know the current finance
It should
minister,
not-
Yofi Grant, etc. They all went to
No, it should.
Occupy. What did they call it? Occupy.
You
What?
want to
Do you
deny-
remember that one?
You want to deny him his
Section
rights.
section
Hey,
section
hey,
16 Public Order Act.
It's his constitutional right.
Aiding and supporting the.
Oh no, that I think
You are
that's
a-
unfair. No, I'm saying
No,
that.
no, you're
I'm
not saying it. You are aiding him.
So
I'm aiding
it's
who?
been-
The NDC
Okay,
panelists.
you know Robert Coleman, Chief Executive for the Wembley Sports
Yeah.
Construction Company. He says that you've built a nice AstroTurf in your constituency in Koforidua. He says I should say good morning to you for that great work you've done for the constituency, and that also has to be emulated by others within the country as well, and that's a good one. The Honourable Otribefi for your constituents as well. That I'm aiding and
No,
abetting.
no, you're just passing compliments. You have to add money to it.
Oh, yeah. And that's been a good one. Please make sure that when you're communicating on what we're doing, especially the discussions, you add the hashtag TV3Newday as well as Johnny's Bite across all social media platforms of TV3 Ghana. And we've had a former Trades Minister, Deputy, and then also a Deputy Finance Minister in the studio as well, Kweku Ricketts-Hagen, Member of Parliament, and then also Member of Parliament, New York South as well, Deputy Trade Minister, Michael Otribefi. He's been giving me some hot jabs this morning. He says I'm aiding and abetting, but when I support him, he says, oh, no, that's just compliments. And thank you very much as well. I've enjoyed the conversation, I have to say
Thanks
that.
so
and
much,
you're a
sir.
real gentleman, I
Thanks
have
so
to
much.
add as well. That's also aiding and abetting or compliments.
Compliments.
We're taking a break. When we come back, we do have more right here on the show.
Thank you, sir.